Hi, Dr. Paul Haider here. You know, today is Easter, and I see all over the place and a great uplifting that's happening right now. And you see it in our kids. The college kids are really making changes. They want to change this world. You see it in mothers. They're going out there and making the effort to change our communities. You see it in individuals, and they are going out to do volunteer work and changing everything. This is not unlike what Jesus did. It's exactly the same. We see Jesus, he's uplifting everybody else, and that's what people were doing. The young people, the mothers, you see people in general uplifting people and changing life forever on this wonderful plane that we live in. Now, as we move our vibration up, we are also changing the amount of darkness there is in the world. And everything is energy. As Einstein said, E equals mc squared. And you cannot be destroyed in any way. It only changes, and that's when we move on to the other plane. We also move into higher realms, in different vibrational aspects, dimensional changes. And this is really important because now they have found a galaxy that has absolutely no dark energy in it. That was this month. And this is powerful, really powerful. you know, as Jesus said, my father's mansion has, my father's mansion has many different, houses in it, and my father's area has many different mansions in it. I think we need to uplift ourselves to change our vibration, and this is happening automatically. We're having this happen. There are still some people holding on to the old ideas that they want to be in control, but there is no way that they're going to stay in control. We are uplifting ourselves. We are changing this world. And and then I see people understanding that we are spiritual beings. We are not just this process of, you know, flesh and blood. And all the avatars, all the great saints, all the great gurus have talked about, what they have seen on the other side of the veil. And they all come back with super conviction of exactly what they know is true. And I think that's really what we have to have. In order to raise our vibration, we have to have great conviction. And great conviction of what? First of all, faith, and when we went to see John of God, faith is the other half of the equation for healing. And also, the other part of that is love. And love is the other part of the equation for healing. And so we have to allow ourselves to have these two aspects which can change the world completely. Have great faith. With faith, anybody can do anything. With love, they can change the world. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So if we can allow ourselves to move forward with great faith and great love, I'm sure that we will raise our vibration enough that we can move into those other realms of understanding and awaken this world and change it into a world devoid of all darkness. And we can do that. There is no doubt about it. You know what I mean? I was just watching a program and they were looking at the mayor of one of the cities in Sicily where they have a lot of problems with the mafia. And this mayor is standing up to the mafia and says, we can't do this anymore. We're not going to allow people to be paying protection money anymore. And, he's putting his life in peril because of that. But it is time because people are raising their vibration and they want to be free and they want to see that love spread in the world. And we see it everywhere. And we have to uplift ourselves. As I talked about this last week, a simple smile is a certain thing that we can do every single day. And I went into the mall and looked around. And what do you know? I was kind of doing a poll. How many people are smiling? I only saw two people smiling. But we can change that. You know, I smile all the time because it's a gift, and studies show that if you smile at somebody, they automatically smile back, and they actually feel good inside. We start endorphins and all the different cascade of chemicals, hormones inside of our brain, which makes us feel good and actually starts the healing process just from a smile. Is that something or what? And then studies were done that's showing that if we just smile, we actually mimic that back to that person because it's part of who we are. We did that, but probably to protect ourselves, also to create friends, and especially when we didn't know the language. And we met a new tribe, we would smile. It was just an automatic thing. And so we would connect. A lot of times people don't even understand each other, but they understand the smile. There's all there is to it. And so it's automatic. And then we start that cascade again of all the endorphins, all the dopamines, and all that type of thing, which makes us feel good and we start to heal. And so it's really important that we smile. And I would like to create a smile brigade here with lots of people joining me to smile all the time. I think it's super important that we smile. That is the first connection to raising our vibration. And we can do it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, all it takes is lifting up the corners of our mouth. And if we don't feel like smiling, it's called fake it until you make it. And when we fake it until we make it, eventually we get to the point where we feel good smiling, and we don't feel good when we're not smiling because it just doesn't feel natural not to smile. So I think at one time, back in the 50s when I was a little kid, people smiled all the time. It was just normal. Everybody was smiling. And we've kind of moved in a direction of not smiling. And I think we need to move back in that direction of smiling again and allow ourselves to create this cascade of endorphins and love and peace and faith, which allows us to move to a place of higher vibration within our being and on the planet in general, and then also the galaxy and on out. All it takes is starting with a simple smile. Now, I think a lot of people, think, oh, just a smile, that means nothing. Well, it means a lot to me. I actually went out and brought those people a little gift that were smiling back at me in the mall. One was taking care of a booth, another one was taking care of another booth in the mall, and I bought them a little gift and I brought it to them and I said, thank you for smiling. I really appreciate that because this is important. And I was walking out of the store yesterday and I had a couple things in my bag, and there's a gal that works in the store. She was sitting down having a cup of coffee and early lunch, and I walked past and then I said, I got something in my bag I could give her. So I walked back, I handed it to her, and I said, this is for you. And she said, oh, thank you, thank you. It's those little things. We're listening to that little, still small voice within our head. And a lot of times we ignore it. No, we don't need to do that. And we just keep walking. That doesn't help us to move forward in our thinking and our raising of our vibration. There's a old man down the street here. It's about 3 blocks. And he lives on the street. And, he lives next to a church, and he kind of is tucked in by their air conditioners there. And, on a regular basis, I'll give him a little money, give him some food and that type of thing, because he's doing what he wants to do right now. And it's not for us to judge where he's at, what's going on. He has plenty of help. If he wants to get off the street, he can. But this is where he wants to be at the moment. So it's allow us to have unconditional love for people. A lot of times we think, oh, my mother should be this way, my mother should be that way, my father should be this way, my kids should be that way. But Is that unconditional love? It's all well and good. The best way to make people change is to be the change ourselves, and then they will follow our lead. But most of the time, we don't want to do the change. Why is change so hard? Just ask any person who's dying. A lot of them are so afraid to make it that last change, you know what I mean? But some of them are so happy because they've been used to making changes all their lives. I think that's really important. If we allow ourselves to make changes, allow ourselves to see every day as a new beginning, then everything is totally different. And we allow ourselves to uh, get used to change. You know what I mean? When we thrive on change and we see the good in change. And then when we get to our last little bit of breath in this body, we don't see it as the ending. We see it as a change. And then when we allow ourselves to be part of that whole process of the E equals MC squared, and we know that we are transforming and our passage from this realm into the next realm. And who knows? Maybe we end up on that different dimension in that new galaxy, which is devoid of light. I mean, excuse me, devoid of darkness and is full of light. And so allow ourselves to move into that whole understanding that there is something there for us. And allow ourselves to be the smile that changes the world. And I think that if more leaders would smile back and forth, we would make a big change in this world. But a lot of them don't really know how to do that. I think it's very important that we smile. I think that if you ever gotten off a plane and you've seen somebody from a different country and they just kind of, you know what I mean? Do you feel comfortable? No. If you see somebody smiling at you and greeting you and you want you to be there, do you feel comfortable? Of course. It's just a natural, given thing. And so we are the beginnings of a new life. We are the beginnings of this new light galaxy. We are the beginnings of peace on earth. And we are the beginnings of this great change as Jesus brought us, 2,000 years ago. And he allowed himself to be the change in order that we could grow and understand his great lead. And he was teaching by example. And that's exactly what we need to do, to allow ourselves to grow, change, and listen to those with great wisdom, which, like Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, all the great Divine Mother Amma, and there's a lady full of love. And there's absolutely. And she hugs up to 74,000 people in a day, doesn't get up to go to the bathroom, doesn't do anything except sit there and hug people over and over and over again. It is a powerful experience, I have to tell you. Uh, I've talked about my experience with Divine Mother Amma before. Amazing. And I'm sure that she is full of what I would call great Shakti energy, with energy that uh, comes from the inner core of who we are and expands. And she is full of one of the two things that we need: faith and great love. And when we put those two together in action of love, as she does, of hugging, a simple thing of hugging people. How many people hug thousands of people every day? People, some of them have never been hugged in their lives. And there are even people who are lepers, and she will hug them. People with diseases, yeah, she will hug them. People who nobody else will hug, she will hug them. And she also echoes a little blessing to the person in their ear when she's hugging them. And I'm telling you, it is powerful. Yeah, I almost fainted and fell over when I got up from being hugged by her. It was just so powerful. So allow yourself to be the change. Allow yourself to be the smile that emanates and changes this galaxy in general, so we can become the light galaxy out there in the universe. I know we can do it. We are doing it, and we can expand upon this. I hope to see your smile very soon. Remember, if you'd like to get a hold of me, all my contact information is down below. My phone number, my email, my Skype, everything is there. And also, all my consults are free, and I would love to hear from you. And also, I'm here to help you in any way, shape, or form. Please call me early in the day because I go to bed early, about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so allow yourself to catch me early, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. You know, I do have to sleep sometimes. And if you care to make a donation, that is really great. We really, really appreciate that. We're still helping with people with the hurricane aftermath of Hurricane Maria here, and so really greatly appreciate that. And also, if you want to subscribe, and I appreciate that, please tell others, because we're building upon this base that we have, and would love to see a lot more people join. So please spread the word. And remember the most important thing of all: I love you.